Welcome back. If you don't want to be recording your screen or doing a talking head video, because I know talking head videos can be quite intimidating. If you don't want to do all that, there is a way to do ads that look just as good and is actually much simpler and much easier to do. You're still going to need voiceover, though I am going to show you where to get that if for some reason you don't want to do it yourself. I always suggest doing it yourself. Back when I got started, my English was very bad. I mean, if I showed you videos from 3 or 4 years ago, it just wasn't good, right? I could not, I had to learn English at a pretty late time in my life, started learning English at 15, which, by the way, you definitely need to learn earlier than that if you want to, to get a language down very quickly. But what I'm trying to say is it got better by practicing, and it's going to get better. Now, if you don't want to do that, if you don't want to show your face, if you don't want to talk, which I totally understand, then I'm going to show you how to turn simple PowerPoint presentations into ads. And this is a good skill to have because it's just an easy way to do an ad that actually looks good, right? It's not an easy way to do an ad that's suboptimal. They actually look good. Now, if you want to, you can either start with a blank PowerPoint presentation. If you have a Mac, then you're probably going to have pre-installed on your computer Keynote. Keynote, it looks really beautiful. Works in a different way, but it really is the same idea behind it. So you can get some amazing presentations on the Envato market, and that would be graphicriver.net. Now, I think it's either Graphic River or Video Hive. Nope, it's Graphic River. You can go ahead here and type in retro, for example. You really have a bunch of Keynote PowerPoint presentation. Actually, you would have to, there you go, PowerPoint template, because they have a lot of stuff, mockups, etc. But look, you can get PowerPoint templates here. You can even go ahead and go like, okay, from $2 to $8. All right, and you'll find a whole bunch of really neat PowerPoint templates. For example, I downloaded one that I've ended up using at least 50, 60 times. I use it all the time. It's a retro template like this one. So what they give you is they give you the font, they give you the document for either PowerPoint or Keynote. I know that most of these templates come in both format. Let me just open that up to show you how you can run that an ad with a PowerPoint template, which is really, really neat. And they look good. Again, you can make your own presentations yourself, but they're probably not going to look as good as something that a professional does. So those are what you can change, right? So you get fonts that look in tune with the overall look of the template. So you have business templates. You have this one is a retro template. I happen to really, really like this template, so that's why I use it so much. It costs about $5 and it really is an investment if you don't want to be making it yourself. Now, the way you would run an ad on PowerPoint like this, or on Keynote, I'm on Keynote by the way, but it's again the same thing, is you want to have a certain flow and certain effects. So for example, if your call to action here, what you could do is you could simply, I have a bunch of arrows. What you can do is you can simply point to the skip button with that whenever it appears, just to make sure that people who are going to skip your video can do it pretty easily, and they also actually see the big fat arrow pointing to it. That's one of the things with internet marketing. You should never assume people know how to do things. You just need to show them. And what you can do after that is give it an effect, and you do this by go to animate here on the top right. Entry, so whenever this enters, you can add an effect and it's going to show you a preview, right? So that's a pretty basic, doesn't look so good, but you can go ahead and do the solution. Okay, that doesn't look good either. Well, that's up to me, right? I don't want this. Okay, that's the same thing. Anyways, you have a bunch of transitions and animations you can do. It really, see that, okay, that one looks, okay, I gotta admit that one looks pretty cool. So you want to run your ad in a pretty simple fashion. So you want to go, of course, with voiceover, right? Starting with, hey, I leave that for a second on the screen, animate it. Then if you have something else to say, just add text. It'll go like, do you want to learn how to XYZ. No, XYZ. Then again, you can give that one both an entry and an outro animation. Like so, right? And then transition to the arrow. But what I'm trying to say is you don't need a personal or a professional animation software to do something like that. You really do not. You just need to get a PowerPoint and a template. Try to getting a template, because if you're not a designer, just to save $8 or $10 is just not worth it in my opinion. But I mean, if it works well, you can run 100 ads with it, and you only end up paying the price once for it. So I would recommend running PowerPoint as ads. Very easy, and trust me, they actually work. All right, they actually work because they look professional. If you put the right effects and the right fonts and all of that with the right voiceover, they still look professional. Right? They don't look lazy. They kind of look just good, honestly.